Harris County is run like most other counties in most other states, under a system that puts tremendous power in the hands of a relatively small group of elected officials. A road built by the Durwood Green Construction Company on Commissioner Bob Eckels' land led to one of several indictments against Eckels, each charged with receiving an illegal gift. And Green has been charged with billing the county for asphalt that was never received. Neither man has yet been tried on those charges.
The Eckels investigation has opened up a Pandora's box in relationship to all the other people that are involved. I have opened up a number of additional files as a result of information we've gotten out of this investigation.
Attorney General Maddox says there are now investigations into similar charges across the state at the county level, indications that contractors and commissioners in other counties may be guilty of wrongdoing.
And there's going to be some people who are going to abuse the system when you got a free and easy system.
Harris County, like most others, is operated on a strong commissioner system. Each commissioner controls most county jobs and projects in his precinct. He decides where millions of dollars in tax money will be spent. Most of those projects must be approved by the full commissioners court. That's supposed to ensure everything is above board. But that's not how it really works.
Officially, no commissioner has any authority by himself. In practice, a commissioner's recommendation concerning his own precinct is rubber stamped by the other members of the court 99% of the time.
The county commissioners are the most powerful local politicians within their precincts, with employees dependent upon them for jobs, construction companies, and other contractors dependent upon them for projects. Ron and Jan, commissioners enjoy a great autonomy under that system and enforces relatively few checks on that power.
Could you state your name for the record, please?
Vince Ryan.
And Mr. Ryan, how are you employed?
I'm the first assistant Harris County Attorney to Mike Driscoll, the County Attorney of Harris County.
Now, could you distinguish what the County Attorney is as opposed to the District Attorney?
In Harris County, unlike virtually every other county in the state of Texas, the District Attorney tries only the criminal cases, the misdemeanors and felonies, and the County Attorney only represents the county in civil matters.
County Commissioner Bob Eckels says that special investigators from the Special Crimes Division of Harris County arrived at his ranch in Austin County after dark last night, and they weren't trick-or-treating. They had a search warrant for stolen county property. The investigators say they were looking for stolen county bridge ties and timbers like those back there. They said they'd been stolen from the county. Commissioner Eckels says that they were brought out here to his property, and he was told that they were scrap material from a bridge in Harris County. He questions the fact that they were brought out on Tuesday night, and the investigators showed up on Thursday night with a search warrant. The investigators say they are stolen property.
We left it here last night and checked this morning, and it sure enough belongs to Harris County. The question is, does it have any value? I don't know. That's one of the things that we'll be working on next week.
Commissioner Eckels has an appointment with Johnny Holmes, the district attorney, on Monday to talk about this situation. Eckels says that he will replace the timbers if they do belong to the county. Judd McIlvain, 11 News, Austin County.
Is there any circumstance wherein a commissioner could make a decision to use county property on his own personal property?
He could make the decision whether it be proper or not.
Well, is there any way that that could be lawful?
No.
If the multitudes of crimes and frauds that have been perpetrated in this county were pursued as feverishly as the pursuit of officials, then I think we'd have a lot less crime on the streets.
Because we come from a position we really don't know what you know. And it really was our genuine intent to say, here it is, and here's what we're doing. You know, if you got anything you don't, that's okay too.
Durwood Green Construction Company was indicted for an unlawful gift to Harris County Commissioner Bob Eckels. Green was also indicted for a continuing scheme of theft from Harris County over a 5-year period. Also indicted were Green & Sons Asphalt Company, or G&S. Harris County Attorney Mike Driscoll has called together Green's criminal lawyers, Mike Hinton and Bob Sussman, as well as his civil lawyers, the firm of Shapiro, Forbes, and Cox. This is Jim Cox and Art Forbes. Also present is Vince Ryan, First Assistant County Attorney, Terrence O'Rourke, Senior Assistant, and Mike Driscoll, Harris County Attorney. They are trying to discuss whether or not an out-of-court civil settlement for $1 million is possible.
This letter, I don't agree with any of the cents and dollars, if indeed any of the allegations in the letter. So that's, ridiculous. I would not in a minute suggest to Durwood Green that they pay $1 million to Harris County. There's another variation of the facts that I'm trying to just get up and give a closing argument right now, and here's what it is. But I tell you, these people have got serious problems in the criminal justice system, and we need to defend them the best we can. And to go ahead and reveal everything we can to refute that now is liable to be not in their best interest, and we got to think about them first.
We're convinced that no matter what the outcome of the criminal case, that there have been severe contract problems here. Contract for X, getting X minus something. Whether it was because of negligence, whether it was because of culpability, whether it was because of conspiracy, the worst possible situation may be.
You can't say it better than you just said it. This whole thing, criminal and civil, is best stated. I hope you're getting this down. I want to remember that.
He will serve as an example to all others who cheat and steal from the public.
I'm so glad that you're not using this as a soapbox and you're not videotaping this.
When this case began,
You were a young man.
this man killed himself. He was the chief inspector of Harris County.
Oh, I'm willing. That's that guy White.
Eyewitness News reporter Wayne Dolcefino says the fraud charges now involve at least 3 other local governments and their dealings with Durwood Green.
Harris County is after construction giant Durwood Green, alleging his shortages of asphalt alone may reach the $1 million mark. But now the Harris County District Attorney's Office has evidence Green's GNS Asphalt Company shorted taxpayers not only in the county, but in the city of Houston, city of Missouri City, and Fort Bend County, too. Green's construction company is finishing up a $2.2 million paving job on Blaylock near the Katy Freeway. And the city of Houston, despite the 5 indictments already against Green, still maintain a 1-year, $1.7 million asphalt contract with G&H. Green won't talk about the new charges, but his lawyers say they're wrong.
If you looked at a truck of asphalt that was short-weighted 5%, you could see a visible difference. If the truck holds 20 tons and they only put 18 tons on it, you'll see, I mean, you can't miss it. You couldn't miss it.
So it didn't happen?
It didn't happen.
The county attorney and prosecutors alerted the city of Houston to Green's alleged wrongdoing more than 2 months ago. But there are apparently no internal audits underway at City Hall to find out the extent of the possible fraud. And records requested from the city covering contracts over a 5-year period with Green have not yet been turned over. The list of allegations against Durwood Green range from falsifying vouchers and asphalt shortages to perjury. But the thing worrying prosecutors the most is the apparent cover-up that surrounded the Green affair, and what that may say about the level of corruption in Harris County.
When you have impropriety operating throughout any governmental entity, either through negligence, omniscience, or, you don't have to be purposely out stealing, but just through neglect of doing your duty, because that's the way it's always done. And I think we've reached that point where that's no longer going to be the case.
So far by prosecutors, the county engineer Dick Doss and indicted Commissioner Bob Eckels. And that's the real story here, county corruption. The engineering department's chief inspector, Bruce White, committed suicide in November of 1984. Prosecutors now believe he was aware of the massive fraud in the asphalt business and was pressured by someone to keep quiet. Wayne Dolcefino, Eyewitness News.
Because what happens here in Harris County tomorrow is a major step in sending signals throughout the entire state of Texas that if you did do business like this with your governmental entities, you're no longer going to be doing it anymore. Each of us are critical to seeing to it that this operation come off without a flaw. Roseanne will be the person that we look to that is in charge.
Mr. Driscoll has explained the technique that we're using to conduct this investigation is a visitory letter. It's a technique that's provided to the Attorney General's office under the Miscellaneous Corporations Act to enable us to fulfill our constitutional duty to make sure that corporations, which are creatures created by the state and operating only pursuant to state statute, are behaving as they should behave. We have received information from the Harris County Attorney's Office and the District Attorney's Office that there is good reason to believe that these companies are not operating within the law. Therefore, it's our duty to investigate these allegations, and we're doing that by use of the visitory letter. The visitory letter gives us very broad authority to request immediate production of corporate records. And that is not just formal corporate records, but any documents maintained by the corporation that we believe may have some relevance to our investigation of the alleged malfeasance. Do not discuss any documents that you see, anything that happens during the visitory letter investigation with anybody outside this group here. The documents may be used by other law enforcement agencies, but that will have to come through the Attorney General's office. So it's very important that you understand and respect the confidentiality requirements of this. It's a very powerful tool, and we don't want to misuse it.
The Team 1 and Team 2 will rendezvous here at Texas Commerce Bank parking lot on the corner of Murphy Road and the Southwest Freeway, Highway 59.
You are on a very important mission that will have greater ramifications than what we even think of now in terms of not only reforming government and the way it does business, but also transforming it in such a way that it will continue to work. So you have to change the system for it to work. And so that's what we're doing, and that's the process of one of the things that is happening here is to establish a beachhead for integrity in public government.
There's nearly 422 to DPS 287. I got what?
From Sergeant Williams of the Harris County Sheriff's Office, we're Unit 1 headed to rendezvous with all other units to present the Attorney General's visitory letter. All other units are leaving Harris County at this time to meet 2 DPS units at a midpoint between here and final destination. Okay, gentlemen and ladies, we're ready to go ahead and roll out now. So we don't expect to need any violence or don't expect that, but we certainly need to be prepared for it. And that's why your participation is very vital and important. So we've got our work cut out for us. Thank you very much for your assistance, and let's go.
About 15 seconds. Pull right up front. I'd say it's that little brown building over. Go straight ahead, and then cut over to the left, I think. 4245, we're out.
Claire's there. He's ready.
Clear.
Well, Mr. Hinton, I'm sorry that you're upset about that. We're here and we're ready to look at documents. Have you discussed that with your clients? How long will it take? Well, sir, we can't wait that long. We, under the statute, are entitled to look at the documents immediately, and that's what we're here to do. No, the statute says immediately, and also says that any agent of the corporation who refuses us immediate access to the records, that constitutes an automatic forfeiture of the corporation's charter.
You might just tell him it's T-Greg has the camera. So,
this is not just for Harris County.
I know that. But you're going to find that other than Fort Bend County and some Brazoria counties, the vast majority is with Harris County. Matter of fact, I don't think Durwood Green has any contracts with anybody else but Harris County.
With any other government?
Well, now we have some with the state of Texas. Hold on, Mike. Let me get on that phone.
It's now 9:45.
We will proceed at this time.
Have y'all found anything or not?
Your name, officer? Zavala. It's 10:15, July 22nd. The Durwood Green Construction Company has been secured. Officer Zavala, myself, Terry O'Rourke, and Representative Lyman are headed over to GNS Asphalt from Durwood Green Construction Company to
physically check on the record documentation that is proceeding at the asphalt company.
We've got one camera loaded.
Well, the only thing is,
Won't
you're
take us very
interfering right
long.
now with the scope of this business.
Well, we can move in here.
By someone else, and you're interfering with the scope of this business. With this, I mean, y'all have got half the whole place blocked up right now.
Let me show you that.
And now the county attorney's office is investigating allegations that taxpayers didn't get what they paid for on another of Green's road projects.
Part of a $3 million county road project completed by Green's company last year called for the installation of about a mile of drainage pipe beneath Ritchie Road and Ella Boulevard. When that drainage line was installed, Green's company was supposed to cover it with this. It's called cement stabilizing sand. It's a special kind of sand that hardens as it dries, and it's designed to keep the drainage pipe from shifting in the ground, keep it from moving so that the road that's laid above it won't collapse. About $90,000 worth of cement stabilizing sand was supposed to be packed around the pipe beneath Ritchie Road and Ella. But samples taken by county engineers today indicate it wasn't.
Well, they found some traces of sand on top of some of the boxes, but it doesn't look like it's got any cement in it. Until the lab results come back in, we won't know. But if there's no cement here, we're going to the grand jury.
Last year, Green's asphalt company was found guilty of stealing by shorting loads of construction material bound for county jobs. But company officials insist that didn't happen here.
No, sir. No, sir. There's no intentional wrongdoing on this job. We've already offered to find anything that doesn't meet their specifications or is unsatisfactory to them, then we propose to fix it.
Jeff Green says tests have shown some parts of the project do have the required amount of stabilizing sand. But no one will be able to say for sure until the final test results are in next week. Phil Archer, Channel 2 News.
Along here, we perform borings, which are performed with a drill rig from on top of the ground, drilling down, sampling the soil all the way down through the soil till we reach the top of the culvert box to see exactly what material was there, to see if there was cement stabilized sand around the box as it should have been. This is a demonstration of a field test that we perform in order to determine the presence or absence of cement in sand. It doesn't tell you how much, it just tells you either or if there is cement or not in the sand. To your left is a sample of the sand that we sampled on the Ritchie Medberry project. This is material that was immediately adjacent to the concrete culvert. About 30 minutes ago, I poured a solution of phenolphthalein indicator at a concentration of 0.5%. Normally, if the sample contained cement, the phenolphthalein would have caused the sample to turn purple. As you see, 30 minutes have gone by and it hasn't turned purple. To your right is a sample of cement stabilized sand, which contains 1.05 sacks of cement per ton. This mixture was prepared on Monday, and so now it's 3 days later, and it's hard. Ultimately, this sample will become almost as hard as this concrete floor. During the course of a normal business day, I received several telephone calls pertaining to the various projects we're performing the testing or inspection services on. So, as a good business practice, I keep a telephone memorandum of almost all my telephone calls. This is an example of the telephone memorandum. It's dated June 3rd, 1985, 9:33, evidently in the morning. And it was from Mr. Jim Kincaid, who is identified as the Harris County Inspector on the Ritchie Medberry project. According to the memorandum, Mr. Kincaid returned my phone call, and he told me that cement content tests would not be necessary on this project, since the county was obtaining certificates from the supplier of the cement sand. Under actions required, I put not applicable, since no testing was required. Once I make a memorandum such as this, my next step is to send it to the party involved. So in this case, a copy would have been sent to the Harris County Engineering Department in care of Jim Kincaid.
And the note goes, please notify our office.
Yes, it does. Then at the bottom of our standard form is included the statement, please notify our office if this summary does not agree with your understanding of the telephone conference. That way the respondent has the opportunity to call me or notify me to clarify anything I might have misrepresented in the memorandum. And our file doesn't show any response.
Defrauded taxpayers out of tens of millions of dollars.
Companies supplied building materials for county road projects, and the investigation revolves around claims by former employees that they were forced to steal to keep their jobs. Channel 2 News has obtained exclusive videotape statements by those employees, and our Phil Archer has more on the story.
Investigators believe it happened in at least 3 county road jobs, including the Hardy Toll Road and Beltway 8.
On those county jobs, they didn't give the taxpayers what the taxpayers paid for.
M&C Consolidated is a major supplier of cement sand, a special kind of sand that hardens as it dries and is used in road and sewer line projects. Investigators claim M&C cheated taxpayers out of millions of dollars by shorting deliveries or by delivering substandard cement sand to county road projects.
The general rule, we were told to steal 2 tons off every truck.
The ongoing investigation is based on these taped confessions given to investigators by former M&C employees and obtained exclusively by Channel 2 News.
We were told you have to steal to keep your job, but if you get caught stealing, we're going to have to fire you because the company's not going to take the heat.
It was common practice at the company to short the cement per ton and also short the loads.
First day I was hired, I was and showed how to be a dispatcher. I was shown how to steal and cut back on the sand on the tickets the first day I started there.
M&C officials were unavailable for comment today, but the company's lawyer flatly denies M&C did anything wrong.
Because a lot of them are disgruntled former employees that were terminated for various reasons and now are working for various competitors. And nobody would like anything better than to get M&C's business.
There's no truth to any of those allegations?
Not that I'm aware of.
Even so, the District Attorney and State Attorney General's office have joined the investigation, an investigation that has broadened now to include allegations of price fixing and payoffs to county inspectors. Phil Archer, Channel 2 News.
Gary Gray.
Go ahead and look into the camera. And how are you employed?
I'm Chief of Construction for Harris County.
What happened here?
Well, we have some problems with the underground storm sewer system. We've got some open joints and what appears to be either not enough or no cement stabilized sand bedding around the boxes.
What's the bottom line on that? What's going to happen here?
It's going to have to be repaired. Also, the boxes are going to have to be cleaned out on the inside due to large amount of silt and debris.
What happened here? How did this happen? I mean, how does it end up like that? I mean, it was inspected by us and them, right?
Probably a poor job of workmanship and also a poor job of inspection.
And what happened to the inspector that inspected this?
He's no longer employed for Harris County.
And when did he become unemployed?
I'm not sure of the exact date, but approximately 4 or 5 weeks ago.
And when did you find out about what's going on here?
Approximately 4 or 5 weeks ago.
In other words, you fired him basically when you found out what had happened, right? Isn't that right?
That's correct.
Part of the scheme, they allege, included payoffs to Harris County inspectors.
Baseball tickets, football tickets, send them to the deer lease, send them to the condo.
Eyewitness News has now obtained a document that reveals 3 major companies that supply cement stabilized sand allegedly engaged in a scheme on government contracts to fix prices and supplies of materials, even though the companies continue to deny the charges. Federal investigators are now going to see if federal funds were misused in one of the jobs in question, the widening of Westheimer Road. County investigators continue to see if the allegations of wrongdoing on the Hardy Toll Road have any substance. The Toll Road Authority will begin its official investigation next Monday to find out whether the allegations of wrongdoing are fantasy or fact.
I mean, is there any document or paperwork that would show anything exactly you did? I tell you, you know how you can remember what the date was? Wouldn't Durwood Green have certain records, Richard, wouldn't Durwood Green have certain records as to when he was doing certain work? Like when they completed the linear feet?
The daily work reports, and that's...
But you can't
Yeah,
trust
but I
it.
couldn't tell you exactly.
But you're sure in your recollection that it was sometime during this period of time when they were doing that work?
Well,
In other words, if you had heard that conversation going on where it crossed the pipeline, but you need stabilized sand there to make sure that it doesn't cause any break, right? What would you have done if it had been in the location where it was crossing
I'd
the
shut
pipeline?
them down, period. Well, it's my job to see it, it's did right.
We might want to add that.
5 of Commissioner Bob Eckels' employees were subpoenaed, but only 4 met with district attorney prosecutors and investigators. All are believed to be from the bridge crew. They were asked about improvements to land across Cypress Creek from the Ravenaugh Country Club. Eckels used to own the land, and investigators want to know if county employees used county equipment and materials on county time to make those improvements, which allowed the 8 acres to be moved from the floodway classification to the floodplain. That helped pave the way for Eckels to sell the land and make more than $500,000 profit. Eckels denies he's done anything wrong.
None of your people, no county equipment, no county personnel were used to make improvements to that land.
Oh, you know better than that. No way would they ever. No way would I ever allow it.
Harris County District Attorney Johnny Holmes is willing to say little about the investigation at this time.
Our position is, basically, if the accusation made, irrespective of the motives that they're made, if true, would constitute an offense, I think we're obligated to determine whether or not they're true, regardless of where they come from.
Holmes says he's not sure if the 5 will be presented to the grand jury or if their sworn statements will be. Van Hackett, Eyewitness News.
Is there any circumstance that you can envision where a commissioner could declare on his own the decision-making to declare property surplus or salvage?
No.